Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're dimming the lights and diving deep into a story that has terrified audiences for decades. We all know the Amityville horror, the haunted house, the demonic pig, the bleeding walls. It's a cornerstone of modern horror. What if I told you the most terrifying part of the Amityville story isn't the ghosts, but the very real, very tragic event that happened before the Lutz family ever moved in? Let's rewind to November 13th, 1974. In the dead of night, inside that now infamous Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue, a horrific crime took place. 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr., the eldest son of the family, took a high-powered rifle and systematically murdered his entire family as they slept. His parents, Ronald Sr. and Louise, and his 4 younger siblings, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew, were all gone in a matter of minutes. The next day, around 6:30 p.m., DeFeo burst into a local bar, Henry's Bar, screaming, "You got to help me. Mother and father are arrived at the house. They discovered a scene of unimaginable horror. All 6 members of the DeFeo family were found in their beds, shot to death. There were no signs of a struggle, and curiously, neighbors hadn't heard any gunshots, despite the rifle being a loud .35 caliber Marlin. This lack of noise has puzzled investigators for years. Did DeFeo use a silencer? Were the sounds muffled by the weather that night? It remains one of the case's most enduring mysteries. Initially, Ronald DeFeo Jr. tried to pin the crime on a mob hitman, claiming the man had held him hostage while committing the murders. However, his story quickly unraveled under police questioning. Within 24 hours, he confessed. He admitted to methodically going from room to room and ending the lives of his family members. His motive, however, has been a subject of intense debate ever since. During his trial, DeFeo's defense team argued that he was legally insane. They claimed he heard voices telling him to commit the murders, voices that commanded him to eliminate his family. This is where the story starts to blur the lines between true crime and the supernatural narrative that would follow. Were these voices a genuine symptom of a severe mental illness, or was it a calculated attempt to avoid a long prison sentence? The prosecution painted a different picture. They argued that DeFeo was a troubled young man with a history of drug use and a volatile relationship with his father. They suggested the motive was far more mundane, a desire to get his hands on his parents' substantial life insurance policies. The jury sided with the prosecution. They didn't buy the insanity plea, and in 1975, Ronald DeFeo Jr. was found guilty on 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life in prison. So, where does the haunting come in? Well, 13 months after the murders, the Lutz family, George, Kathy, and their 3 children, bought the house for a bargain price of $80,000, fully aware of its dark history. They claimed that almost immediately after moving in, strange and terrifying things began to happen. They reported cold spots, swarms of flies in the dead of winter, strange odors, and slime oozing from the walls. George Lutz claimed he would wake up every morning at 3:15 a.m., the estimated time of the DeFeo murders. Kathy reported levitating in her sleep. Their youngest daughter, Missy, even developed an imaginary friend named Jody, a demonic, pig-like creature with glowing red eyes. The family's ordeal culminated in them fleeing the house in terror after just 28 days, leaving all their possessions behind. Their story became the basis for Jay Anson's 1977 best-selling book, The Amityville Horror. which was then adapted into the iconic 1979 film. The book was marketed as a true story, and the world was captivated. But almost as soon as it was published, critics and investigators began to pick it apart. William Weber, Ronald DeFeo Jr., his own defense attorney, came forward with a shocking claim. He stated that he, along with the Lutzes, had concocted the entire haunting story over several bottles of wine. Weber's plan was to use the supernatural angle to get DeFeo a new trial, arguing that something evil in the house had driven him to kill. The Lutzes, he alleged, were in it for the money and fame. The Lutzes, for their part, always maintained that their story was true, even passing a polygraph test. They sued Weber for his claims, and the legal battles that followed only further muddied the waters. Over the years, countless paranormal investigators, journalists, and skeptics have visited 112 Ocean Avenue. Some have reported strange feelings or captured odd photos, while others have found absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. The subsequent owners of the house have reported no paranormal activity whatsoever. They've lived peacefully, changing the address and the iconic quarter-moon windows to deter tourists. So, what is the truth of Amityville? Was the house truly a gateway to the other side, cursed by the tragic events that unfolded within its walls? Or was it an elaborate hoax? A story spun for profit and notoriety, built upon the foundation of a real-life family tragedy. The one thing we know for certain is that long before the alleged ghosts and demons, 6 people lost their lives in that home. The story of the Amityville Horror is a fascinating blend of fact and folklore, a place where true crime and paranormal legend intersect. It forces us to ask whether the greatest horrors are the ones that go bump in the night, or the ones that human beings are capable of inflicting upon each other. Ronald DeFeo Jr. died in prison in 2021, taking many of the answers about that horrific night with him to the grave. The Amityville house still stands, a silent monument to both a terrible crime and an enduring American myth. What do you believe? Was it a haunting or a hoax? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this deep dive interesting, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content. We'll see you in the next one.